Part 278. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2771. With such combat power, there is nowhere to go. Even if you encounter the existence of the 7-star sanctuary or even the 8-star sanctuary, you may not be without the power to fight. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself. The sound of inhaling became imperceptibly rapid. This time the thoughts gathered, and the feelings directly followed the full-fledged takeoff. Now the 100,000 high-grade star cores that Master gave me have been consumed almost. Hey, I used to think that 100,000 high-grade star cores is a very huge number, but now it seems that it is actually that. It's nothing at all. Fang Fan twitched his lips, thinking to himself. His eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance. Thoughts gather here, and the facial expression changes very realistically. After thinking about it, this wave of feelings is basically in place. It looks quite interesting. Fang Fan nodded, thinking in his heart, feeling deeply. We also need to earn as many star cores as possible. It is not so easy to bring the major legions to the 7-star sanctuary, the 8-star sanctuary, and even the 9-star sanctuary. Fang Fan thought to himself, his facial expression changed very quickly. Thinking in my heart at this moment, all kinds of ideas come one after another. After finishing these things, Fang Fan's thoughts moved slightly, and then he returned from the small world of Shushan Pavilion. At this moment, Fang Fan's eyes scanned the surrounding area, more or less dazed. At this moment in the room, 4 women actually gathered together to form a table, screaming excitedly. What are you playing with? Fang Fan squinted his eyes and looked at the square stones in front of him, looking very surprised. On these square stones, some numbers or patterns of monsters are engraved. If they come across numbers or patterns of monsters, they can collide with each other and put them in front of themselves. This is Stone General. It's a kind of entertainment in our hometown. Husband, do you want to play a few laps? Xiao Liulai blinked, and then extended an invitation to Fang Fan from the side. Fang Fan, Stone General. Good guy. How is this so similar to the mahjong in his memory? The rules and so on are actually not too different, but there may be some things that have been slightly adjusted. Go straight up. Don't hit Phoenix. Shoot you long out. The 3 dragons just matched up. Clearly. Take all 3. Touch yourself. Fang Fan watching from the sidelines was quite wonderful. In the boring life of cultivation, it is extremely beautiful to have some entertainment activities. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, thinking to himself, his eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance. Thinking of it, it looks very graceful. A wave in place, full of emotion. That is a comfort. If you really don't think about cultivation every day, live a peaceful and leisurely life every day, and play a round of Stone Generals from time to time, it is an excellent choice. Fang Fan and others stayed in this hotel located in the core area of Guangming Holy City for 7 consecutive days. For 7 days, there was no latest news displayed. As for Fang Fan's cheap master Uncle Ji, he hasn't been seen for 7 days. It's not the case to keep delaying here for so long. Fang Fan was deeply moved, and felt his scalp tingling inexplicably at this moment. If you stay here, you might as well go back to school. Too much time passed, and the hundreds of students in the first-year seed class seemed a little restless. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2772. It's not the case to stay in the hotel in the core area of the bright holy city all the time. Unexplainable scalp tingling. This time the feeling is in place, and the emotion is deep. Of course there is no need to say anything else, I can only sigh silently. The cultivation atmosphere in this hotel is naturally not as good as that in the school, and it can even be said that it is far worse. In the beginning, it was very suitable for 3 or 2 days. Fang Fan didn't feel anything, but gradually, Fang Fan also felt that something was wrong. There is something tricky in it. Although there are no signs for the time being, there is a feeling that the wind and rain are about to come. Thinking about it this time, the feeling is basically in place. It seems that the sense of hierarchy involved here is still very strong. Fang Fan secretly narrowed his eyes, and waited silently while beating the stone general. Teacher Grand Uncle is back. Vice President Fu Jing is back. Why is this Deputy Palace Master here? Deputy Palace Master Shui Wanren is also coming here. A series of shouts followed, and the things on the scene were particularly pure. Needless to say, the rest for the time being, this feeling will directly break the position invisibly. Grand Uncle Ji and Fu Jing left together, and it is normal to return now. It's just that Shui Wanren, as the Deputy Palace Master of Guangming Academy, a demigod-level boss, basically seldom dispatched. Fang Fan raised his head and took a look, and found that there was a chilling atmosphere around Taishuji. Apart from Taishuji, Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, and Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, all looked quite serious. Call the students together. Hold a temporary meeting. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, rolled his eyes and licked his lips while talking. His facial expression changed a little quickly. Soon, in the central hall of the hotel, everyone gathered together. You have been waiting here for almost 10 days. Presumably you are also very curious, why no one has arranged your further training plan for so long. Don't deny it, I know what you think in your heart. Don't worry, the matter is almost resolved. I originally planned to take you out to complete a few tasks on the 3rd day to complete the seed class trial this time, but I didn't expect that during this process, a large number of spies from the dark camp would flood into our territory of the light camp. Spy. They want to take this opportunity to cull all the elite students of our Guangming Academy. In this way, they will be able to win perfectly in the upcoming academy exchange competition. If their plan is really allowed to succeed, then you will be the ones who will be implicated. And obviously, these plans of theirs have been ruined. They're just daydreaming. Hee. It's just nonsense. Our Guangming Academy dispatched a group of elite instructors, leading the senior students in the 3rd and 4th grades to strangle these spies and killers from the dark camp in the surrounding area these days. In this battle, 37 mentors have fallen from my Guangming Academy, including 5 saint-level mentors. 107 students have fallen. Among them, there are 82 Earth-level students in the 3rd grade. 25 Sky-level students in the 4th grade. All those who died were elites. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2773. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was talking. His eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance, and all kinds of thoughts directly burst out at this moment. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this feeling directly follows the broken position. There is a sense of regret on the face, and there is an infinite killing intent in the heart. Needless to say other things for the time being, this feeling is directly in place. Anyway, it looks very proud. It's such a pure gesture. Very calm. In the hall, there was a complete silence. What else can I say at this moment? There can only be a long silence. There are some things that you just need to understand in your heart, so naturally there is no need to say more. That's all, frankly, but it seems real. Perhaps this is the purest form. As for the others, just follow the silence. Classmates. Our surroundings are dangerous. So, we have to work harder. Fight tirelessly. Don't think that you are absolutely safe because you are in the Guangming Academy. There is no absolutely safe place in this world. Your so-called absolute safety may be the center of the death vortex. So, I hope you can figure this out. Don't choose to die lightly. One after another roaring sounds followed, and the things on the scene were displayed very purely. Needless to say the rest, they gradually broke down. A wave took off directly. This is the strong rhythm of takeoff. No need to say anything at all. The hall became increasingly quiet. Basically, you can also hear the generous speech of Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy. After he stopped, he could hear even a needle falling around him clearly. That's all, it's true. Their respective eyes gathered here, and the sadness on their faces gradually gathered. Fang Fan muttered to himself. He didn't expect Guangming Academy to suffer such a big loss this time. Even the mentors have sacrificed dozens of them, and 5 of them are elite mentors in the Holy Realm. As for those Earth-level and Sky-level students, let alone those are the absolute elite of Guangming Academy. As soon as he thought of this, his eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance. Thinking of this, I feel a lot more comfortable inexplicably. Perhaps, this is the purest look. Only death can resonate. Call. I said too much just now. I couldn't control my emotions, sorry. You should all understand what I mean. I just want to let you know that I want to make myself as strong as possible. In this era, being weak is the original sin. Perhaps as the deputy head of the palace, I shouldn't say it like this. I should say it more tactfully, and I should control the way I express it, but I still want to explain it to you more thoroughly. That's the thing. That's the situation. That's what it is, that's what it is. So, from now on, seize every opportunity to strengthen yourself. Bright Academy will always be your strongest backing. You can run and fight endlessly ahead. Guangming Academy is your base camp. You are always welcome to show your strength. A series of shouts followed, and the things on the scene were displayed in a particularly pure way. Today Fang Fan really got to know the Deputy Palace Master Shui Wanren again. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2774. Speaking of which, this seems to be his cheap father-in-law. There is something involved in this. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows secretly, and the corners of his mouth twitched subconsciously. The thoughts gathered here, and the changing facial expressions were very real. Needless to say the rest for the time being, the feeling will follow directly. I really underestimated this father-in-law before. Pure and real. Probably, that's it. In righteousness, this father-in-law is still very reliable. It can be seen that he still has his own set of beliefs in the light camp. Fang Fan silently listened below. Some things leak out invisibly. Even Bai Biao's out-of-the-box temperament seemed very quiet at the moment. It seems that he has gradually integrated into this atmosphere, unable to extricate himself. Calling you here now, of course, is not just for you to listen to the complaints I'm talking about here. The following tasks will be divided for you. Although most of the assassins and spies from the dark camp that we will attack have been killed, a small number of them have fled to the holy city of light. These wandering assassins and spies from the dark camp are basically ordinary cultivators between the 3-star sanctuary and the 6-star sanctuary, so as long as you are careful, you should be able to handle it. It's also time for you to experience the cruelty of fighting each other with killers from the dark camp. Only by realizing these things can you gradually take off in an all-round way. You should be very clear about this. So, the situation is like this, the situation is like this. Every 5 people in your first grade seed class. Exactly 100 people. Divide into 20 groups. Based on these 20 groups now, search for assassins and spies from the dark faction scattered in the holy city of light. At that time, a comprehensive score will be made according to the performance of each group, and then credits will be awarded. To a certain extent, only those who perform well can continue to stay in the seed class. The current seed class is too comfortable. This kind of comfort is not suitable for you. You guys need some blood stimulation. I heard that when the competition was held in the Colosseum, less than 30% of the people signed up to participate in the competition. What are you afraid of? What are you terrified of? Why are you acting like this again? Humph. It looks like this, you should know it all. Those who can represent Guangming Academy to participate in the Academy Exchange competition must be decisive and strong. Only such students have enough blood to fight to the end for Guangming Academy. If you don't even have the courage to fight, no matter how high your cultivation is, everything is useless. Don't be unhappy when I say this. On the contrary, you should even express your joy and excitement. Because this is the best symbol and proof for you to take a step forward. That is it. Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, did it rashly this time. A wave of unrestrained attitude was thoroughly shown. While talking, the excitement on his face was beyond words. Needless to say the rest for the time being, this kind of feeling directly follows the comprehensive breakout. Why does Fang Fan feel that the deputy palace master is developing in the direction of his cheap master Uncle G? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2775. This pose is so similar. There is even a feeling of being engraved in one eye. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes subconsciously, and then secretly narrowed his eyes, all kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind. Next, Shui Wanren, the deputy head of the Guangming Academy, talked about the past and the present. Anyway, it's been like that from beginning to end. Pure, yet sincere. After Shui Wanren finished speaking, they basically began to group directly. A group of 5, a total of 20 groups. Husband. I'm on your team. Xiao Liyulai nodded, and then walked over. Brother, I'm also on your team. Lu Jiyi was stunned for a moment, and then followed her over. Boss. Boss. Ah. I finally found you. This time, you must take me to pretend and take me to fly. In the distance, a thick male voice suddenly came, and then a chubby young man rushed over directly. He pretended to give Fang Fan a wave of bear hugs directly. Needless to say anything else, this gesture is very clear. The excited words basically followed suit. Excited ideas, virtually followed by takeoff. Fang Fan was stunned for a moment, then continued to glance at the chubby young man in front of him, looking even more confused. Who are you? The boy who gave you money. Cough, you are Zhao Wei. Fang Fan blurted out the nickname, and then hurriedly gathered it back. The chubby young man in front of him is Zhao Wei, whom Fang Fan once met at the tower of the academy. At that time in the tower of the academy, this guy also wanted to go to the 9th floor. At that time, the price Fang Fan offered was 100 million low-grade star cores for a place on the 9th floor. At that time, it was Zhao Wei who directly sprinkled 10 billion low-grade star cores to him. At that time, Fang Fan followed in a daze. So strong. Maybe this is the boss. A wave followed and took off directly. Fly up fly. For Fang Fan, 10 billion at that time was definitely a huge sum of money. After this wave of huge money is in place, there is no need to say anything else. Directly follow the full takeoff. So Fang Fan's impression of Zhao Wei was very deep at that time. After all, he is a boy who gives money, who doesn't like it? Since then, this Zhao Wei has been calling Fang Fan the boss, which can be regarded as forming some fate. Things like fate can't be explained clearly. Anyway, I ended up here in such a daze. How did you come here? The academy came out for you. I remember that the entry level for freshmen is basically not given out within 3 years. Fang Fan blinked, looking a little surprised. As she was talking at the moment, her eyebrows subconsciously raised. Did this guy sneak out? According to the rules of the school, for this kind of sneaking student, it is basically a fat beating. This. Didn't it mean that the seed class can come out? Didn't you all come out? Zhao Wei blinked, then subconsciously touched his chubby belly, raised his eyebrows while talking. This. Have you entered the seed class? Are you sure? Could it be that you were also specially recruited? Could it be that your specialty is being able to eat? Bai Piao was stunned for a moment, and while talking, he followed with smashing his mouth, and said with a serious expression on his face. Looking at the past at this glance, I feel extremely special. The feeling is in place, and the brain is buzzing virtually. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2776. This is entering the seed class. Do you still need special skills? My father asked me to come in, so I came in. Oh, by the way, the Deputy Palace Master asked me to come. Is there anything else to ask for? I do not know. The Deputy Palace Master didn't tell me. The chubby Zhao Wei blinked, and while talking, the curious look on his face became more and more. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this feeling followed in place virtually. This seems to be very unique. It seems that there is no feeling. Why does it sound like it still has a taste of Versailles in it? Don't know anything, or nothing, and then entered the seed class. 1-star Sanctuary Realm Cultivation Base. There is no possibility of skyrocketing cultivation. Combat power, well, needless to say. Appearance. This thing doesn't really exist. Where do you think you are better than me? Why did I have to be beaten by Fat for so long after I entered the seed class? This is too difficult. Guangming Academy is unfair to me. Bai Piao took a deep breath, while talking, then said leisurely from the side. Needless to say the rest, this feeling is basically broken. A wave of feelings, directly take off. Unfair. I don't understand. Can't I come? Zhao Wei blinked, still looking cute. Of course I can come. I'm just a little curious. How could a diehard like Deputy Palace Master Shui Wanren force you in? Could there be some kind of conspiracy? Did you stuff him with something? Good guy, is this guy still doing this? Fang Fan's eyes lit up, and while he was talking, he nodded in agreement and said, all kinds of thoughts in his eyes gathered here, and the changes in his facial expressions were very real. Others don't need to say much for the time being, this feeling is basically in place. It's amazing. Benefit. It's impossible to be beneficial, and it's impossible to be beneficial in this life. The Deputy Palace Master is not that kind of person. Upon hearing this, Gisha shrugged and followed suit. Although it hasn't been long since I came to the academy, I still have this kind of self-confidence, and the situation here is still very clear. For it. 2 days ago, my father provided 2 caddies of Wanyangxuan lotion to the Deputy Palace Master and the others. Does this count? The chubby Zhao Wei scratched his scalp, and then said with a cute face. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and now let out a long breath of foul air. Now he doesn't want to say anything anymore. That's it? Talk about a hammer. This brain has already exploded, isn't it? Wave after wave, what else do you want to make trouble with? Can you please stop for a while? Things on the scene must be followed and stabilized. If you can't stand it, it will collapse with a crash. Anyway, in the final analysis, this is the case. The situation is about to collapse. Wanyangsuan lotion, or 2 caddies? Are you sure, not 2 drops? Good on. Bai Biao took a deep breath, and black lines gathered on his forehead. Isn't this corruption and bribery? Ah! Little fatty. Do you know how much a drop of Wanyangsuan lotion is worth? There are tens of billions of low-grade star cores at every turn. 2 caddies, I'm afraid there are 20,000 drops of Wanyangsuan lotion, right? Worth 2 trillion low-grade star cores. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2777. Bai Biao took a deep breath, his mentality had completely collapsed at this moment. What to say and do has no effect. This amount is too high? Terribly high? What a show. Show so scalp numb. The explosion-like sense of layering hits, and the whole person is directly confused. Let's take off. If it goes on like this, it really won't be able to fly. It's not easy to spread your wings and fly high. Your father is really willing to. It took 2 trillion low-grade star cores just to send you into the seed class. Ah! God is so unfair. So many star cores, if you give me all of them, and a hammer seed class, it's not like that at all. Crash. The mentality is broken. It's too bad. Waves of yelling followed, and the sound of breathing became more and more invisible. This time the thoughts gathered here, and the facial expression changed unpredictable. Anyway, this is probably the attitude at this moment. Quite true. The current Bai Biao is completely a miser. After the above things were revealed, he immediately became smug, probably in such a state. What does this have to do with you? As for howling ghosts and howling wolves here. Fang Fan rolled his eyes, and pouted his lips angrily. That's it? My brain is buzzing, so what? Can't we be more cautious about things here? Do you have to yell? At the end of the call, he directly pressed himself down. Why doesn't it have anything to do with me? This relationship is big. This wave is really unsteady. What the hell? Terrible, terrible. I didn't expect the amount involved in this case to be so large. Can't you just take it easy? This wave directly beat to death. It's not like this. The most important thing is that they didn't break up with me. Boy Fang Fan, if I report this matter to the upper echelon of the school, will the upper echelon of the school give me any reward? For example, reward half of the stolen money? 30%? Even 10% is fine. While talking, Bai Biao took a deep breath. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this kind of idea directly takes off in an all-round way. This kind of take-off state is very real and clear. I thought to myself, then licked my lips, and my eyes became more and more clear. That's saying too much. It's just that I don't know what to say. Now Fang Fan always thinks that Bai Biao's state is pathological. There have been too many things I've been thinking about. I keep thinking about this and that, and in the end I will only sink myself into it and cannot extricate myself, probably in that state. If you have the guts to do it, you will be rubbed on the ground in minutes. Who is the upper class of Guangming Academy? Do you have no points in your heart? The deputy palace master has already put it that way. Who are you going to react to? To find the palace master. The palace master is usually a dragon who sees the head and sees the end. Do you think you can do it? While Fang Fan was talking, he pouted at the side and said. Anyway, what was expressed at this time was such an attitude. Pure, true. The biggest function of Wanyangsuan lotion is that it can treat old wounds. It is of great help to the treatment of injuries, and it can restore a large amount of spiritual energy in a short period of time, which is especially precious in battle. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2778. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and suddenly his eyes lit up. This Wanyangsuan lotion was probably used by Zhao Wei's father to support the deputy palace master and the others in the battle. After all, they suffered an all-out war not long ago. If you think about it this way, it actually seems more real. Fang Fan nodded secretly, and while talking, his eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance. Needless to say, the rest for the time being, this feeling will follow in place virtually. Pure, yet real. Probably so. Being able to let the deputy palace master accept these two caddies of Wanyangsuan lotion, it seems that the previous battle to eliminate the spies and assassins from the dark camp must have been very tragic. Otherwise, it wouldn't hurt so many elite mentors. This time we are going to pick up the task in groups of 5 or 5, and we must follow along steadily, and we must not slack off. Otherwise, there may be some accidents. If some big fish are missing from this group of fleeing assassins and spies from the dark camp, it will not be something we can fight against. After all, 5 of the mentors of the Saint Realm lost their lives. Fang Fan's eyes scanned the surrounding area, and while talking, the expression on his face became more and more cold, and his eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance as he spoke. Needless to say the rest, this feeling gradually took off in full swing. The feeling is basically in place. Holy venerable instructor. Makes sense. Otherwise, shall we slip away? If it's so dangerous, play with a hammer. Going back to school and paddling water, isn't it delicious? Bai Piao curled his lips, and while talking, the smiles on the corners of his mouth grew more and more. Needless to say anything else, this feeling followed invisibly. Anyway, what I feel is probably the purest will. Brother Bai Piao, isn't your thinking too simple? Didn't you hear what the deputy palace master said before? This time we are asked to take out the mission, which is actually an assessment. If we fail the assessment, we will basically be cleared out of the seed class. If you can't even stay in the seed class, the Sci-Fi college exchange competition basically has nothing to do with you. You should know the impact of these. A little carelessness will involve more things. Brother Bai Piao, don't you still want to go to the Sci-Fi college exchange competition to open? Hey, if you miss such an opportunity, it will be a big loss. Brother Bai Piao, isn't he satisfied with the wealth he has now? If that's the case, just pretend I didn't say it. Kisha shrugged his shoulders, and then nodded in agreement as he spoke. This wave directly touched Bai Piao's heart. Now this guy is basically in a disabled state, and he doesn't have any other thoughts in his heart at all, and he just focuses on that point of Star Core. For the Star Core, anything can be done. Yes. How could I forget this? Boy Fang Fan, we will still work together when the time comes. You compete with the students from those colleges and universities on the top, and I will open the market for you below. At that time, we will split it 50-50. Tisk, tisk tisk. I can earn another wave of blood. I want to strive to become a millionaire as soon as possible. While Bai Piao was talking, the smiles on his face grew more and more, and he became a millionaire at every turn. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2779. Good guy. This wave followed directly. Drift to the extreme. Millionaire. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, not quite understanding. It's just sitting on a million top-grade star cores. Hey. At that time, I plan to open a bank by myself, and then the money will be rolled over, and the interest will be rolled over. Hiss, it's taking off. While talking, Bai Piao swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and the blush on his face became more and more red as he spoke. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this kind of feeling is invisibly and directly followed by the comprehensive. This guy thought really well. It's just a little bit of money. Don't think about it. Let's start grouping. Fang Fan curled his lips, and then followed suit. Zhao Wei, come with me. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then followed up. After all, this boy who used to be his own money scatterer had already said that he wanted to be his boss, so he covered him and wanted to take him to pretend to be his boss. If you can't do this, it will be a bit of a slap in the face. Anyway, it is probably such an attitude from beginning to end, pure and substantive. Thank you, boss. Hey, I knew the boss would not abandon me. Follow the boss and you will be stable. Boss, don't worry, I will definitely not cause you any trouble. If I really encounter a threat, I will hide in the Suanwu iron ship. He, when the time comes, you guys fight outside, and I'll just watch inside. When is it over, boss? Just ask me to come out. While Zhao Wei was talking, he took out a small closed iron ship about 3 inches long and 1 inch high. As he chanted the incantation, the closed small iron ship that was a few inches long actually changed to about 3 meters long and 1 meter high. Under normal circumstances, it is indeed possible to hide a few people inside. It's actually a stretchable iron ship. This is an iron ship that can only be made by a great supernatural power. This material is actually made of a demigod-level mysterious tortoise shell. Oh my god! There are several top-level magic circles attached to it. Basically they all tend to be defensive, there are not many attacking magic circles. There are so many engraved on such a small volume. Are you sure this isn't a joke? This wave exploded directly. This is too strong. Hiss, so terrifying. Too shocking. Unbelievable. Simply unimaginable. Gudong. Guisha is not the kind of person who has never seen the world, but at this moment, he can't help but admire it. While talking at the moment, the excited expression on his face became more and more. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this wave of feelings will be fully in place immediately. A wave took off directly. It's so exciting. After all, Guisha is the young master of the Fallen World Palace in the second-class sanctuary of the Fallen World, so what can make him feel so emotional is naturally a treasure. Guisha, I heard you speak so mysteriously, how much star core is this thing worth? Aren't ordinary semi-artifacts only tens of thousands of high-grade star cores? How many trillion low-grade star cores? Bai Piao pursed her lips, she seemed to be indifferent to what she was saying, but the light in her eyes became more and more bright, and while she was talking, she rubbed her hands subconsciously, and all kinds of thoughts took off at this moment. This wave seems too excited and excited. Other languages have basically come to an end in an all-round way. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2780. He. How many star cores? Brother Bai Piao, you should stop inquiring. Wait until you actually become a millionaire, it's not practical to say that now. Guisha shrugged, and then said sincerely. Bai Piao. Am I not even qualified to inquire? Didn't this wave of mentality immediately explode? What else can I say about this? It's a headache, okay. Words directly follow the full end. Saying nothing seems to be of no use. This basalt iron ship is worth 1 million high-grade star cores. After Fang Fan heard it from the side, he subconsciously took a deep breath. Is this the rich world? Are they all so proud? Fang Fan looked at the chubby Zhao Wei. Good guy. The real boss is here. The price of 1,000,000 high-grade star cores can probably buy these materials. As for making it successful, at least they must be master-level crafting masters. Anyway, it's very precious. Brother Zhao Wei, what exactly does your father do? Gisha swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and then couldn't help asking. This has reached a certain level, so it is a bit scary. Probably such a pure gesture, so humming real. My father is just doing some business. Then I like to build chambers of commerce everywhere. I don't understand his tricks either. I just want me to practice hard every day, and then let my son inherit my father's career, so I won't do it. It's so boring to go out to do business every day. I don't like star cores at all, I don't even want to see star cores don't look good at all. While Zhao Wei was talking, he complained angrily. It turns out that the master of Versailles is still here. Versailles should also pay attention to scale. This is too Versailles, so it seems a bit too beautiful. Always be mindful of things. Otherwise, wouldn't it directly collapse itself? This also plays with a hammer. Brother Zhao Wei, is your father still accepting his son? What do you think about me? The corners of Bai Piao's mouth twitched, and then he asked seriously. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, it seems that he really underestimated his younger brother Zhao Wei. Let's group up first. Fang Fan waved his hand and ended the topic. It's time for the masters of Versailles to rest too. I must be in a group with my husband. I also have to be in a group with my brother. Xiao Li Yulai and Lu Jiyi came directly, basically setting up 2 places. Now add Fang Fan and Zhao Wei, that's 4 people. There are 5 people in a group, and now there is only 1 person. Bai Piao looked at Fang Fan eagerly. Daji, come here. Fang Fan waved to Daji and said. The current cultivation bases of the 4 heroes under Fang Fan's command have also been promoted accordingly. Because Fang Fan raised his cultivation level to the mid-2-star sanctuary level in the Colosseum, the cultivation bases of the 6 heroes have also risen to the 5-star mid-level sanctuary level. And the 6 heroes are also one of the students of the seed class. According to Fang Fan's idea, Daji was transferred, and then the other 5 heroes also formed a team. At that time, we can take care of each other. Fang Fan boy. You have changed. You have all the beauties. There is no reason. Just kick me away. Oh my god. How did it become like this? Boy Fang Fan, my heart hurts so much.